What's up you guys, it's Ben and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything there is related to selling on Amazon. So now finally with Alibaba completely sorted, for today's video what I wanted to do was share with you some of my solutions to the most common problems that majority of my students tend to have. Over the last couple of days I've actually looked through a lot of the emails as to what exactly my students are complaining about. What are they finding difficult when it comes to selling on Amazon, launching their very first product and actually making sales. So in today's video what I wanted to do is give you 5 of the most common problems that I come across and then what I would do in each and every single one of those situations. And lastly, I will give you something that in my personal opinion is so important for every single business owner that needs to have in order to run an Amazon FBA business successfully in the long term. With that being said guys, if you are interested in selling on Amazon, then please don't forget to check the links down below for my own personal mentorship where I will help you to find your very first product, to stop making all of those newbie mistakes that new sellers tend to make. Otherwise guys, if you're running on a lower budget but you still want to use some of the business tools that I use, then please don't forget to check the links down below for Helium 10, the best product research tool out there, or Tide, the perfect business bank account to start off your Amazon FBA business. With that being said guys, let's get straight to the video. So before I start the video guys, I have to remind you that at the end of the day, Amazon FBA is a business. Yes, I understand we are running it from our own home, from our laptop. We still need to have the mentality of a business owner. And this is so important to have in the back of your head. Now, the very first problem that I think this is probably the most common problem that new sellers tend to have is product research. It's simply going to find a product that would sell. They struggle to do it. They basically cannot find anything that match the criteria that all of the other YouTubers tend to speak about in order to find a product to bring it from Alibaba to sell it on Amazon. In their view, everything is overly competitive. Now, in my personal opinion, guys, you need to remember one thing and one thing only, is you need to find a product that is slightly different or kind of somehow stands out from the rest of the competition. I do not believe that Amazon is too competitive. At the end of the day, new products come out all the time. So when you can't find a new product, you may find the niche, but you don't exactly know what kind of product to choose. Speak to your suppliers on Alibaba and ask, have they brought out anything new, anything upgraded in the last few months that currently isn't selling on Amazon.co.uk? And you'd be amazed of how many products you will actually be able to find and how many products they will actually send you. In most cases, these suppliers will actually send you a catalog or all of the latest releases that they have done over the last few weeks, months, or potentially a year, and look through all of them and see which one that you like and see which one that you think will sell and that is better than the rest of the competition. What's also important here guys to know is if you're just starting off, product research is important, but at the end of the day, getting experience, getting started is much more important. You need to have some experience behind you. Most likely, your very first product is not going to be doing too well and make you a millionaire. You just need to have that experience and education as well, okay? When it came to my very first product, I actually chose a charcoal toothpaste, okay? I got that shipped from China for about $50-60. I only bought 10, but the reason why I did that was simple to find out how does the process work from start to finish. And once I was able to list it and actually see the product live on Amazon.co.uk marketplace, I realized that now I understand the process and now it's time to start doing properly product research and actually investing a lot more money, which happened to be around £1,200 into my first product. So if you can't find anything guys, just choose something cheap, something light, something that's not much, it's not very expensive, because at the end of the day, the experience you get with a 50p product is exactly the same as you would get with a £5 product. So keep that in mind. And the next one is product sales. Okay, some of my students now have found the product, they are super excited, they're super happy, they actually now have launched it, but all of a sudden the excitement and the happiness goes away because they can only see 1 or 2 sales a day. Why is that the case? Well, one of the first things that I would actually do is actually look through your listing. What is the title like? Is it too long? Is it potentially, putting in words that not necessarily describe the product? Are the images from Alibaba or images that are actually done yourself? Because in my personal experience, Alibaba images do not work well. Okay, what are the key features like? Are they explaining what the product is? Are customers understanding exactly what they're getting when buying the product? Remember guys, this particular business model does not allow customers to actually touch, feel, have a look at your products. They have to make a purchasing decision by looking at a screen, okay? And it's your job to make sure that what they look and what they see on the screen when it comes to your product, they like, okay? So images are super important, title is super important, and so are the key features, okay? You need to, in my personal opinion, look at your product listing through a customer's eyes, okay? And compare it to the rest of the competition. It needs to be at least just as good, if not better, if you want to sell more than just 1 or 2 sales a day. This is why sometimes if I just change a few images and I just explain the product a little bit better, my sales go from 5 a day to 15 a day. And that over the long term makes a massive, massive difference. Next up, PPC advertising, and where usually the ACOS is over 50%, and to be completely honest, in some cases over 100%. This is something very, very important for you guys to learn. And it's probably one of the most difficult parts to learn because it's so new to all of us, especially those that haven't actually had any business experience in the past. PPC advertising is a great tool, but it's also a double-edged sword because if you use it improperly, you will actually lose more money than you want to when it comes to advertising your product. So before you actually advertise your product, the solution to it is kind of similar to the very first, to the second point actually, about your listing. Is your listing the best as it could possibly be? There is no need for advertising your particular product, your particular listing, if you still haven't finished the images, if you haven't done the title properly, if you haven't actually done the key features properly. Maybe your listing doesn't even have any reviews on it. All of these things will impact your ACOS negatively, okay? Once you have everything sorted, once you have a few reviews, a few family and friendly reviews that actually explain the product, maybe have some pictures on it, then start using your PPC advertising. And also what's important, guys, is you need to develop a strategy on how to use PPC advertising properly. Now, it's too long, of course, to me explain it to you in this video. However, I do have plenty of videos on PPC advertising on YouTube, as well as very, very detailed videos on my course as well. So please check them out because this is super important when it comes to launching your very first product. Next up, China. And this is a big problem for us UK sellers in 2020 as well as 2021 because simply all of the deliveries are currently being delayed. It's actually shocking when the delivery actually comes on time as scheduled. In most cases, deliveries can be easily delayed for a week, for a month, and in some cases, in my case, at least for half a year, okay? Now, what can you do about this? Well, the truth is we can't control coronavirus. We can't control how the ports operate in China and in the UK. But what we can do is, number one, potentially order in bigger quantities. For example, given that Q4 is coming up right now and you know for a fact you will be selling a certain product during Christmas, why not order slightly more? Yes, I understand the storage costs are going to go up a little bit. However, guys, at least you then will make sure that you have enough inventory until 2022, okay? You will not have to worry about shipping delays at the moment, and hopefully they will subside when 2022 arrives, okay? If you are certain of a product that you are going to be selling, then make sure to order slightly more because then it will give you that peace of mind because all the other sellers will actually struggle getting their products in, especially with all the delivery delays happening at the moment. Christmas coming up as well. In my personal opinion, it's really, really important for you guys to get products in as quickly as possible because I believe in Q4, it's not going to be about who's listed on the first page. It's going to be more about who actually has the products available for sale, okay? And also for those of you that actually don't have a product for sale that you know for a fact you're going to be selling around Q4, why not split the shipment? Instead of shipping 500 units via sea, why not ship 100 units via air? Okay, so get it in without any delays within a week or 2 weeks, and then the other part via sea, okay? Now, the benefit of this is you actually get to start selling the product. You do the images, you do the listing, you do the titles, you actually get a few friends and family reviews, and you get the ball rolling, so to speak. Yes, you may sell out very, very quickly, but at least you're selling something. Now, of course, you will actually have to sacrifice some of the profit, given that shipping by air is far more expensive than by sea. However, some profit, in my personal opinion, is far better than no profit whatsoever. And last but not least, bad product. Okay, simply a bad product is a product that gets you negative reviews pretty quickly. Okay, usually a product that has anything under 3.5, maybe 3-star reviews, it's basically a bad product. It is something that customers are not happy with. So what can you do about it? Well, first things first, I personally would try and get rid of the product as quickly as possible. The truth is, bad products are not going to last you, and you're not going to be selling them for the next few years. There are just going to be too many customers complaining about it. They may potentially put the product in with problems effectively, or your account, bring problems to your account as well. So in my personal opinion, I would actually reduce the price to try and get the product out as quickly as possible. I will try and look at the title and the key features to explain the product better, so people know exactly what they're selling, because sometimes the product reviews can actually say something that is not, the product is not as described, something like that, and so on. So you have to make sure the description really matches what you're actually selling. And also try to reduce the impact of these negative reviews. Try to comment on the reviews, or try potentially find the customer that has written that bad review and get in contact with them. Is there anything that you could potentially do to help the situation? There are so many cases where I actually have gone out of my way to actually contact the customer and then provided them with either a refund or potentially a replacement product or whatever it is, and then politely ask them to revise the review. And even if the review goes from 1 star to, like, say 3 or 4 star, that makes a big difference to a product that only has a handful of reviews. However, guys, by far the most important part of any business, especially with Amazon FBA, is to keep your emotions at bay. Okay, is to stay objective. The truth is, guys, there will be problems about Amazon FBA. You will have them. Every single person, every single seller has those problems sooner or later. And actually, the bigger you grow, the more problems you're going to have. However, the saying here applies that I really truly believe. The problem isn't the actual problem. The problem is your reaction to the problem. Okay, remember, guys, staying unemotional and staying objective is key to making sure that this business runs smoothly and you actually get to grow within the next few years. Each and every single problem on Amazon FBA has a solution. I firmly believe that. Just like in my own case last week when I was blocked with Alibaba, I wasn't overly emotional because I knew there is a solution. It's just a matter of time for me to find it. And it's exactly the same way for you guys. Whether it's your product not selling, whether it's PPC advertising, whether it's poor reviews, there is always a solution. So you have to stay unemotional and look for that solution as soon as possible. Now, the way I do it and the way I actually stay unemotional is I try to keep my emotions at bay even when it's really high or when it's really low. What I mean by that is I was not overly excited during COVID when I actually went from having £30,000 in sales to the first month of COVID of around £72,000 of sales. My sales over 1 month went over 100%. And I had to keep my emotions at bay because I did not want to get overly excited, overly happy, because these things can easily go backwards as well. And which is exactly what it did. Next year in April, I believe, once the lockdown started to be lifted, my sales went from an average of around 70,000 to around 55. But because I wasn't overly excited in the very beginning, I was able to keep my emotions at bay even when things didn't go as well as planned. That is the key, guys, is making sure you have a plan B, plan C, plan D, or whatever, and keeping your emotions in check to make sure you can run your Amazon FBA business in the long term. Remember, guys, Amazon FBA is for you to make money, okay? Don't get overly emotional with it. It's for you to better your life. I understand it's difficult, especially when you have put your own savings in it in order to make it a success, but keeping your emotions out of it is so important. With that being said, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Check the links down below for the mentorship and my brand new FBA Mentor Academy course, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.